So, Blake, let's play Dana Bash, but I just want to take a step back here. This is one of the few things that was on Kamala's schedule, and her inability to dialogue with not even critical questions, but just neutral job interview questions. This CNN town hall is transparently disqualifying for her to ever assume the office of the President of the United States. Blake.
Yeah, well, she literally went off. She kind of went off the campaign trail for about 2 days. She had, I think it was maybe not 2 full days, but there was a period of a couple days where she had not many campaign events. She went to Pennsylvania, and it seemed the focus was, and she also, I think, went to D.C. to have meetings with staff. So she basically had 2 days of private meetings, not doing a lot of out there campaigning, and it preceded this town hall, as well as I think she did some interviews on, maybe it was Telemundo or one of the Spanish channels. So she was doing a series of these interviews, and she had time to prep for this. She had time for her staff to get her ready for the questions that she would hear. And it appears that instead they were just deciding, okay, we're going to call Trump a fascist. Here's 8 different ways to call Trump a fascist. Maybe say Hitler sometimes too. And you're like, that was their plan? They think this is how you close the deal on an election? It genuinely feels to me like they're panicking, because really when you're in the final 10 days, it's not good if you're doing the Hitler freak out, because we've been hearing this for a decade. That's only going to motivate your diehard base, genuine TDS Trump derangement voters. And those people should have voted already. They should be in the bag. And if they're not, Kamala has huge issues, because it's not like, well, she's now abandoned trying to appeal to the middle. So what is the electoral coalition she's trying to build here?
Yeah, and it's just, is she trying to win over like more Raytheon lobbyists or something? I mean, this is such the Trump is Hitler nonsense. She's going to try to make her closing argument from the National Mall. Let's play Dana Bash from CNN, play cut 97.
I'll just tell you what I'm hearing from people who I have been talking to, and that is that if her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that. And, some people have asked, is she being held to a different standard? Maybe, but that's maybe the world that she's living in. And on the question of who she is, people are understanding that a little bit more, but what she will do, the question about her legislative priorities, name one, there wasn't one. Some more of her personality and her sort of character questions about your weaknesses or what mistakes did you make, not necessarily the answers there.
That's just, name one, there wasn't one. That's just, when it's coming from Dana Bash, that is a damning statement. It's one thing, yeah, oh, she didn't close the deal. Okay, it's one thing if you're hearing that from, a Republican analyst who's there to be polite. When Dana Bash is saying you didn't close the deal and you couldn't answer the basic question of what's your policy identity, she's saying it was a dumpster fire. There's a line, a guy on Twitter, a disgraced propagandist, he was saying, Dana Bash saying she didn't close the deal was actually Dana speaking directly to Kamala. She was saying, hey, we told you what to do, but you didn't do it. Basically throwing up her hands in anger, because really, what else could she do? And another one, I've never seen a politician less prepared than Kamala I've never seen a politician less prepared than Kamala in tonight's friendly CNN town hall. She didn't just evade uncomfortable questions. She evaded all the questions. They teed her up over and over to answer, how are you different? And she failed time and time again. She didn't do the homework. And that's the craziest thing. She took time off to prep for this interview, and then she just wasn't ready. She repeatedly came off as someone who was not ready for what was being thrown at her. And this is another great one. This clip has been seen over almost 7.5 million times on X. And it's her trying to talk about securing the border. And Anderson Cooper points out, wait, are you against or in favor of securing the border? We can't figure it out. Let's play 106.
Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall.
So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw is about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill
on.
that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it. People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on this? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything. I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
It's so jarring to see that. It's like she's constantly switching modes. So she starts off, I'm going to make fun. Hey, Trump is so stupid. He thought of his dumb wall. Let's make fun of it. And then Anderson, butts in. Wait, well, don't you support a wall now? And she dials back. Oh, well, we want to do what works. Let's just get it done. This is not ideological. Let's just fix it. So you do support a border wall? I support good ideas wherever they come from. But didn't you say it was a dumb idea? It's, as you said, we had to see the whole thing because it's really bizarre to see the way that she sways around when under attack here. And it's so telling. You remember that town hall Trump did also on CNN a year ago? It was Caitlin Collins.
It's such the opposite of Trump, which is just,
it's totally
had two different. I mean, Trump could not be more blunt or precise or just straightforward with his answers, and she couldn't be more dodgy or opaque.
Yeah, I remember Caitlin Collins. I think that was the first time I remember seeing them. It was really their first pass on really going hard at Trump on the Roe v. Wade abortion question, and they're trying to get him off, and he's just saying like, nope, we did a great thing. We got rid of Roe. It was terrible. Every judge said it was awful. Every legal expert said it was terrible. It's a state thing now. We're leaving it to the states. It's great. And they kept trying to get him off that. And it's a tough issue. We've acknowledged it. It's an issue that is still difficult for him. But he had his line. He stuck to it. He could state it succinctly. And he's, I think, managed to really stay stable on that issue that they've tried to really damage him on. And you just compare this to Kamala, who is like, she's a reed blowing in the wind. She doesn't know what she believes. Everything she's saying, it's like, she needs to just repeat what other people have told her, and she doesn't always remember how it goes, and she can't easily square the contradictions between what she says now and what she said in the past. And so she just looks like a mess. She is not a prepared person. She doesn't understand the issues, so she can't talk about the issues off the cuff. All she can do is canned statements, and if anything throws off the canned statement, it's a total meltdown.
It is well said. All right, let's play more. By the way, there's more tape here of just, we have not even played, I don't think, unless my memory is drawing. He asked her, what would you do differently? Anderson Cooper asked a very simple question. What would you do different? Play cut 86.
Considering you have been in the position of vice president for the past 4 years under the Biden administration, how can we expect you to deviate from the direction of that administration compared to your own?
My administration will not be a continuation of the Biden administration. I bring to this role my own ideas and my own experience. I represent a new generation of leadership on a number of issues and believe that we have to actually take new approaches.
And remember, Charlie, we're leaving out, we can't even play the clips where she gets a question and rambles for 5 minutes, 7 minutes without answering it. That happened. We're a radio show. We don't have the time to play a 7-minute uninterrupted clip where it's just not answering the question that was asked. It is an all-time bad interview. And I think obviously I want us to win because I want Trump to be president. I want a Republican presidency, but I also want us to win because that is how we're going to get the tell-all memoirs and recriminations where all these Democrats are going to come out and they're going to say, how did this happen? How did this huge blunder of an interview happen? And we're going to get those oral histories where someone says like, oh, I saw that clip and then I buried my face in my hands and I realized it was all over. And then I went into the bathroom and took a Xanax and puked in the toilet. We're going to get fun memoirs like that. And I really want to read them, which is why everyone needs to get their ballots in so that we win in 2 weeks.